Hello, everyone. I am Tracy DeMario, and I am the Superstar Director for the Scented Bliss family. I am super excited that you have decided to reinstate your Scentsy account and come back to Scentsy, and most importantly, be a part of the Scented Bliss family. So very excited. I wanted to do a quick tutorial and kind of go through a reinstatement checklist just to make sure you guys are able to relaunch your business quickly and that you can get going. And a couple of things I wanted to say too. I know sometimes it's not easy to start over. Most people are probably hopeful that when they join, that they go right out of the gate, that everything falls into place and is wonderful. However, life happens to all of us. And sometimes that might mean that maybe the first time around, second, third, who knows how many times that you reinstated or had a Scentsy account, it didn't work out for you. But that does not determine your success. We have got endless success stories of consultants that relaunched their businesses. And like I said, one of which was a 3-time reinstate. And within months, she promoted to Star Director, which is the second highest title in Scentsy. So all things are possible, regardless of your original start. We just want to focus on where you're at currently, and that is in your relaunch process. So congratulations. Like I said, we're excited that you're with us. The first thing that you want to make sure that you do is that you go to the account tab of your workstation. So once you've logged on, click on the account tab and check your email address, your phone number, and make sure that your mailing address and shipping address is correct. Because I know, again, depending on the time span, those things can change. Secondly, I'm going to strongly encourage you to subscribe to the PWS, also known as the personal website. So again, that is an optional subscription. It's $15 a month. However, I think you will find if you are really working this business, it's going to pay for itself. I've had people in the past say, you know, I don't get online orders. Nobody ever uses my website to order. And that might very well be true. However, there's other benefits to having the website. For example, I commonly will refer my customers to my website to go shop, to go look to see what they'd like, what they want, to read scent descriptions and various things. But then I have them message me my order. That's one example. If we have any special warehouse sales or flash sales, oftentimes those are required to be used. You have to have a website in order to take advantage of those good deals. So if you're taking good care of your customers and you want to share out that we're having some sales, you're going to need to have that PWS in order for your customers to take advantage of that. Another reason to absolutely want to have a website is if you choose to sponsor, and I hope that you do. You can have a lot of fun doing Scentsy as a hobby, maybe some part-time income, but at the same time, it's so much more fun if you have a team. And you, even if it's just 1, 2, I mean, there's no limit, obviously, but just by having somebody do the business with you, it's way more fun. So I highly recommend that you have the website. That's the only way they can join your team. And last but not least, and I'll touch on this a little bit later, more in depth, is we have a program called Scentsy Club that may or may not have existed based on whenever you previously were a consultant. You do have to have, again, a PWS in order to enroll in Scentsy Club. So those are all the benefits. So again, I hope that you will consider doing that. The next thing I like to make sure and advise everyone to do is to create an open party or a relaunch party. This is going to be one of your top priorities. When we refer to an open party, it's simply going to your workstation, clicking on order, and then creating a party. You can call this Tracy's relaunch party, Tracy's online orders. It could be just summer scent event, whatever you want to call it. It's not important. But then you want to be sure you're sharing that out and letting the universe know that you're back in business. And making sure that you have an open party at all times on your workstation will allow you to accumulate host rewards that later you can utilize yourself as the host, obviously. But it also gives you the opportunity to have a host kit that will be eligible for someone else to join your team utilizing. And again, we'll touch on that here in a minute a little bit more as well. So relaunching your business, it can be totally online if that's what you want to do. I still personally would highly recommend you to do an in-person if that's possible, and or do a combination of both. Maybe invite your friends and family over for an in-person relaunch, but then you have the online version that you can share out with people that you are not someone that you're going to see on a regular basis. So that's really, truly the best way to get your business off and running, is get that scheduled and get busy. announcing to the universe that you're in business. Okay, I mentioned this part already, but remember when you log into your workstation, you're going to want to get yourself familiar with it. It has changed probably numerous times. In fact, just recently, for those of us that are current consultants, since you were a consultant. So get familiar, spend some time doing some orientation, clicking on the different things. I want you to pay special attention to the training section and to the news section. You're going to want to be checking the news section several times a week. We are so fortunate that Sensi has got a lot of different licensing agreements now, and we have a lot of LTOs or limited time offerings that they are putting out there. And all of that information is going to be made available to you first on the news tab of your workstation. So you want to make a habit of checking that frequently. Okay, now, if you still happen to have any of your old business supplies, I know sometimes people like to keep all the things and other times people are ready to get rid of all the things. If you should have any of your old testers, go ahead, and if you don't have a current catalog, just go online and or in your workstation, you can download one and pull out any testers that you might still have that are current. For example, Welcome Home, Clean Breeze, Clothesline, Baked Apple Pie, Black Raspberry Vanilla. Those are some staples that have been with us for a long time. So you more than likely have maybe a dozen or more testers that are still current scents. You can use those now to go ahead and be taking those into office, taking those to your Sunday school class, taking those to Bunko, when you meet your girlfriend at Panera, whatever, and be sharing at least some of those scents while you're sharing your Sensi business until you have the opportunity to get the tester set, which is the next thing I want to bring up. Sensi does offer consultants that reinstate the option of purchasing a reinstatement kit. You have the month that you reinstated to purchase it. So for example, if you reinstated during the month of August, then you have the entire month of August to order that reinstatement kit. The kits do vary from time to time, but they're always going to include a warmer, a bar, all of the current testers, and all of the current business supplies that you're going to need. And again, there can be some other variations, but that's the minimum it is going to contain. So truly everything that you need is going to be available to you if you order the reinstatement kit. Now, the reinstatement kit is going to show up on your workstation. It typically takes 2 to 3 days before it will populate. You can order this by going to your workstation under order and then typing individual order. And once you're there, just use the word kit for it to pull up. Or if you have a party order that you're ready to place, and a party order is 200 or more PRV, you can also add that kit to an existing party order. So those are your different ways of ordering that. So again, if you have the opportunity, great. It is a business expense, so you can keep track of that as an expense to write off later for your taxes. Okay, I highly recommend all consultants, whether you are new, not new, current, to refresh yourself on the consultant guide and the product training guide. So every catalog season, they come out with a new product training guide. And every, I don't know, I'm going to say 1 to 2 years, they come out with a new consultant guide. You can order hard copies of these if you'd like additional hard copies. They're usually like $2 the next time you're placing an order, but you can access them on your workstation as well. Again, we've got product training guide and consultant guide. I'm going to show you a couple resources at the end that'll also assist you with that information. So although as a reinstated consultant, you're not eligible for the Shooting Star or the Sensational Star Awards, I highly recommend you use that consultant guide as your guide for setting your goals, setting your plan of action, and challenging yourself. Say, you know what, maybe I did or I didn't earn this the first time around, but by golly, I'm going to do it this time. So, and reward yourself. So if you earn one of the Sensational Start levels 1, 2, or 3 within your own challenge, maybe say, hey, if I earn level 1, I'm going to treat myself to a movie day. If I earn level 2, I'm going to treat myself to, I don't know, maybe your favorite restaurant, whatever. Come up with some sort of award that you wouldn't just naturally give yourself, that you can reward yourself with by working your business and accomplishing those goals that you set out to accomplish. So, and there's a lot of additional information in the consultant guide that I think it's just good to refresh and to be familiar with. Like I said, I myself revisit it as well because there's so many good reminders that I need to pay attention to. The product training guide is critical, especially if you haven't been a consultant for a year or more, because we have so many new products that you've probably not had the opportunity to experience. The product training guide is going to not only tell you about those products, but it's going to give you some tips on how to sell those products. So make sure you take full advantage of the product training guide. Okay, next up, we do have some new programs. I kind of touched on them earlier. I'm not going to spend a lot of time, but I at least want you to be familiar with them. Maybe make yourself a little note or a little list of some things that you're going to want to be checking out so that, again, you're back in business and you can just get right out of the gate. One of which is a whiff box. So we have this whiff box that Scentsy created a couple of years ago. And the whiff box is supposed to be a mystery box of Scentsy, all things Scentsy. And we do not know until the first day of the month what those contents are going to be. So I have, for example, myself and some of my customers who subscribe monthly to getting this whiff box. We don't care what's in it. It's Scentsy. That's all we care about. So we subscribe monthly. It's $35. It always has more than $35 worth of product in it. And you get 30 PRV off of the whiff box. So again, and they are packaged beautifully. They make great gifts. I love to gift them. If I know I have a birthday coming up, I love to give them as gifts because, like I said, they're packaged so nice. And usually there's some products in there that a lot of my friends, family members, or customers have never tried before. So this is a great way for them to be introduced to some new and different products that maybe they wouldn't just by themselves order. Okay. The other is Scentsy Club. So Scentsy Club is like basically our reward system. And it has some other features as well. What it's most known for is always get my bar. So some of you guys know you've probably got scents from blasts from the past that are your all-time favorite scents. And for whatever reason, those scents were retired. And so now you can no longer get that scent. Now that we have Scentsy Club, we have the option of once a scent is current, of placing it in our Scentsy Club and getting it until eternity, unless we take it out of our club. So let me give you an example. For example, we are currently in, this is the month of August, if you're, depending on when you're listening to this, but it's August right now, and it's a transition month. So we have already received a list of items that are going to be discontinued. One of those bars on that list is lilacs and violets, which I personally love lilacs and violets. So on August 31st, unless I add that to my Scentsy Club, I may or may not ever be able to get that bar again because I'm not going to know until next spring if Scentsy plans to bring it back. And I don't want to take that chance. So I can add that to my Scentsy Club subscription. I can do monthly, bi-monthly, or quarterly, and know that forever, unless I take it out of my club, I am always going to get lilacs and violets. So that's the number one reason people love Scentsy Club. But there's a lot of other benefits. You get a 10% discount, you get reduced shipping. If your Scentsy Club subscription is $60 or more, you get a half price item. You can get bricks, exclusive bricks that are only available through Scentsy Club. So there's a lot of different perks. It also has a referral program. So if you were to refer, your customers were to refer that link to their cousin, to their brother, to their neighbor, to their coworker, they can get referral, get points, which they can then utilize as discounts off of their future orders. So there's a lot to know about Scentsy Club, and you're going to want to dive in and take advantage of that. Once you have customers that sign up for Scentsy Club, that's just automatic. If you've got a customer that has a club subscription every single month, then that's PRV that you're not going to have to do a whole lot for. It's just going to show up because they're going to get the order. So it's a great way to just perpetuate your business. And it's also a great offering for your customers. We also have the FAQs. Now, this is not new. We've always had FAQs. We just have a lot more because we have a lot more products. So depending on how your brain works and what is best for you, I'm still very much a paper and pencil type of person. So I like to print off all of the FAQs, which are located in the workstation. And again, I'm going to show you another resource to locate them. And I like to keep them in a binder in protective sheets. If you're a very digital person, then that's great. You can certainly organize them in that manner. but you want to take some time and familiarize with all the different FAQs. They're not all about products. For example, there's an FAQ about the whiff box. There's an FAQ about the Earn a Kit. Remember earlier how I just touched on the fact that every time you have a party order that reaches 200 plus PRV, there's what's called a host kit that is attached that you can offer to someone to join the business for a reduced cost or at a cost of $59. So that's a whole nother training session, but it's available and it's something you definitely want to be learning about. And there's an FAQ on that as well. Okay, now what I'd like to do is I'd like to do some screen share because I want to share with you 3 resources that I feel like are must know abouts. One of is our Scented Bliss Facebook group, which you may or may not be a part of already. But I want to just point out a couple of things that I think are really going to help you. So let me get that pulled up here. Okay. Here we go. So this is the Scented Bliss Facebook group. And there's some things I want to point out because, again, Facebook changes all the time. And depending on if you've been in groups for a while, this may or may not look different. And it can be different on the desktop at times. There are some different ways that this look. But at least if you know that what the content is, then you can find it. One of which is featured. You'll see here in the center of the Facebook group under here, there's a tab that says featured. These are posts that we feel like are really important. So they have been pinned to the featured section of the Facebook group for easy reference. So again, those are something you're going to want to check out. We also, of course, have our events, which anytime we have different things happening, which we do have weekly and monthly events that take place. So you're going to want to check out the events. We have albums, which is really great. You can find anything and everything you ever imagined in the albums. And all of that content has been posted there for you to use. So if you see some images or some flyers or some marketing material you'd like to use, absolutely, that's why we've included it. And a newer feature to Facebook groups is called guides. And I'm going to click on guides just to kind of point out a couple of things. There are guides on every single topic you can ever imagine. I consider it kind of like a file folder in a group. It just helps organize everything. But some specific ones I want to show you. Let's scroll on down here. One of which is sample posts. So there's a lot of consultants in our group that are so great about sharing things that are working for them and different ideas that they're using in their business, one of which is sample posts. So this particular guide is full of spring, summer, and LTO, which stands for limited time offering, sample posts. These are things you can use out on social. So you don't have to ask, can I use that? If it's there, you're welcome to use it. I do recommend that you change the wording up a bit just so that it sounds more like yourself and it's a little more unique to you. But those are available to you. You'll see right above that, we've got a guide for scent and warmer of the month. So if you're curious, okay, what does that look like this month? That's where you're going to find that information. Each month, we also create a guide that are all things for that specific month. So any promotions, anything that's during the month of August is going to be posted here for easy reference for you to find. We have started, and it's still got a lot of work to do, but our fall winter catalog is going to launch on September the 1st. So you're going to find a lot more content is going to be found in Guide 28. So I wanted to point that out just because that is new and different, probably from when you were a consultant before. I'm going to go back to this featured area now. And I want to show you a couple of things. Scentsy puts out on a monthly basis. This is a new document that Scentsy, a new tool that they have created for us. It's called the Planning Ahead document. Every month, they put all the things that they anticipate, maybe not all, but most of the things that they are anticipating that are going to happen in the Planning Ahead document. So you can kind of plan your work, plan your month. So watch for that to be pinned up here every single time. And you can find that on your workstation under the news tab. I'm going to scroll down here. I want to point out this training site. This is a training site that our very own Jackie Duran actually put together for us that we can share and that we can use. It was initially created for our new consultants, but you will see we have a section on here called Rejoined Scentsy. So as a reinstated consultant, I would highly suggest that you spend some time here just to kind of make sure that you've got all of the tools and everything that you need to successfully launch. So you can easily find this, again, this site on the featured tab of our group. Okay, to refer to. And if you sponsor a new consultant, then this is just a great thing to refer them to as well, because it's got all the new consultant tools and access. We have another site, which I did mean to pin there and I forgot to. We have another training resource that I wanted to share with you guys. This is one of our newer ones. Get it on here. Here we go. It is the Sensi Family Resource site that has been created, and many directors were a part of this, most specifically Amy Denny. She's the one that did the majority of the work, and then a lot of us did contribute in different ways. But again, what is one of the first things I see when I open this up? It says reinstated consultants start here. So this is another section. We have tried to put together as many tools and resources as possible to ensure that you get out of the gate and are successful this time around. Okay. If you scroll down, you will see a lot of additional support and business resources for you. The FAQs that we mentioned before. Maybe you're like, you know what? One of the things I did not do well before was following up with my customers. I've got to make that a priority. So if that's the case, then click on the follow-up section and you're going to find a lot of different resources and some samples, sample scripts, some sample ideas of how and why to do your follow-up. Maybe you've never tried a fundraiser before. Well, why not try one this time? So it's going to tell you about how to do fundraisers. So you can see there is a lot of specific things on here. Don't use as much time as you'd like, but just know that this resource exists. And actually, when we get done with this call, I'm going to make sure I pin it as a feature post because I meant to do that yesterday and I forgot to. So with that being said, I am going to click off here. Another thing, just really quick before we wrap this up, and that is, remember your go-to person is your sponsor. In the event you cannot get a hold of your sponsor, you're going to want to work with your upline director, then your star director, then your superstar director. And of course, if you haven't already, make sure that you program consultant support's number in your phone and that you utilize them anytime you're having any questions or having any difficulties. They're available to assist us and make our jobs better. But without us, they don't have jobs. So make sure that you're utilizing them. And like I said, I know that they will help you be successful. So I'm so happy that you guys decided to reinstate, and I look forward to seeing your relaunch.